What It Takes Radio Company with What It Takes. Yeah, what it takes as a part of interesting ideas and making an impact. You know, it's one of my favorite old baseball stories, and it goes together with a new young colleague who is really great. Let me tell you how I put that together. Greetings, ladies and gentlemen, friends, neighbors, colleagues, customers, clients. Some of you, all of you, are probably in some of those categories as we have another Monday morning episode of Interesting Ideas. And today, through all of the things that are happening, remember now, we are going to try and do this with our interesting ideas. We're going to enter the transformation zone sometimes. Sometimes we're going to enter the impact zone at times. Sometimes we're going to be in the what it takes territory. And we're going to try and help you market and sell yourself and your business in these times of, first of all, there's going to be an incredible amount of turbulence. That's right. There's going to be a lot of turbulence going on. And there's probably going to be a little bit more of a transitioning. People are going to have to make some changes. And there are going to be people who are going to actually either experience or have to go through a transformation. It may be good, it may not be so good, but it's going to be turbulence, transition, and transformations. And either way, we got trouble, and we're going to have to learn how to deal with it and how to be brave and bold and strong and still make an impact. Impact drives income. So you want to have some real influence. You want to have some insight. You want to have impact, because impact drives income. And income is not just money. It's all of the good things that may come to you because you learn how to live well, perform well, and serve others. I'm working with a project in which what has happened is that sign that you just saw became fun and relevant for me. Yeah. What in the world was that? And some of you, if you are of the age and stage that I am, remember that there was a baseball team at one time that was called the Brooklyn Dodgers. And so please keep that in mind because it kind of matches with the story. Recently, I've been asked to help an organization put together a career development and get a good start for a group of younger people, much younger than me, who are starting their careers. And so that's been part of the project. And I've had the experience of working with a very talented young woman, and her name is Brooklyn. Yes, and there's a wonderful story. Now, most people call her Brooke, but I asked permission to call her by her full name, Brooklyn, and it's because one of my favorite stories is about the Brooklyn Dodgers, and it's relevant today. That's right. So, with that in mind, let me tell you about my friend Brooklyn and about how some of the things we have learned may be helpful and useful for you as you're, coming to graduation. And now, what are you going to do once you have to make it in the marketplace? Right. Here we go. First of all, the basketball season with college came to an end just tonight. That's right. The Final Four champion will take place, and who will win the Final Four for the men's? The women's has been decided. Now it's for the men. And as of this April 7th, the college basketball season will be over. Well, however, the baseball season after spring training and Arizona and Florida now has moved to their regular climbs, and now we're into the first or second week of the regular baseball season. Well, here's how all of that connects. All right. Um, I've always was fascinated by some of the historic baseball stories and baseball cities. I was quite a fan when I was younger. I mean, I really thought that you know I could make it for the Chicago Cubs. I really thought I could do that. Well, it didn't work out, but boy, I loved my Cubs. And however, when I was growing up, the one of the top teams was a team that was in Brooklyn, New York. Now, in New York, they had a number of teams. There was the New York Yankees, which played in the island of Manhattan in Yankee Stadium, and there were the New York Giants, who played in an old-fashioned but now renovated polo grounds, and that was their baseball stadium. However, it was in the part of Manhattan where there had been a lot of polo, so they were kind of the people in the little bit of the snooty Manhattan area. However, the team that oftentimes was the most fun to watch was the team that was located in Brooklyn. And Brooklyn is not Manhattan, New York. And many of you know all of the chemical and all of the relational and all the historical and cultural things that go into that. Brooklyn's were, these were tough working people, trying to make it happen. And so oftentimes, and there were a number of World Series which were called the Subway Series because the New York Yankees played the Brooklyn Dodgers, and you just didn't take an airplane; they just took the subway back and forth. So here is the story that always fascinated me, and so I wanted to check and see if it was true. Someone said that the reason they were called the Dodgers is because the traffic was so bad that people who lived in Brooklyn had to continually dodge the traffic. And so they were called the Brooklyn Dodgers. Isn't it interesting that when the Brooklyn Dodgers left Brooklyn and people were brokenhearted, the Brooklyn, the beautiful blue hat with the big B on it. They went to Los Angeles and now they're known as the Los Angeles Dodgers. They kept the name. That's kind of strange, but they did. Well, I asked my AI robot for the story, and I told him what I knew, and he's gotten to the point where he kind of talks to me. It's a bit scary. I said, yes, Stan, that's a partly true. Let me tell you the full story. And he went on to say that it was well known that Brooklyn in the 1870s, 1880s, the latter part of the 19th century, 1800s, early, it was known as a place of incredible traffic. People, street vendors, everybody busy, and that the trolley cars would go back and forth and up and down, and people had to be really quick because otherwise they're going to get hit by those trolley cars that would just simply zoom all around Brooklyn. And so you had to be a dodger. You had to learn how to dodge the trolley cars. And so the team was called the Brooklyn Trolley Dodgers. That was their first name. They tried another one called the Brooklyn Bridegrooms. I don't get that one at all. But they eventually settled on the Brooklyn Dodgers, and that was the story of this great. And they had many great, wonderful players, very heroic players, and won a World Series. The Yankees usually beat them, but they kept trying. The old Brooklyn way. Wait till next year. Well, here is my friend Brooklyn. And so I've come to admire her, and she's smart. And part of the way it'll work in the project, I've got a lot of ideas from my coaching about how we can do. However, she knows the audience. I mean, that's her people. And she's working hard to make her mark and make her career. So they're going to kind of put this, nice looking young woman with a lot of smarts with this old man who has a little bit of wisdom, and maybe together we can create a fun program that will help young men and women make their mark in the marketplace. Well, the reason I like it is she fits that. She's smart. She moves fast. She's bright. You know, uh, she knows how to move and make her dodge and start new projects. And uh, there was just something about her personality and her brightness and her quickness that I just love and appreciate about her. And I'm going to look forward to working with her. But she really is a dodger. She knows how to move fast, think fast, get things done. And I appreciate that. And so that's why I said to her, I want to call you a Dodger because you're like the old Brooklyn Dodgers. You know, you don't let the streetcars run you down. You keep wide awake, alert, and keep moving. Well, here's the story for you. Obviously, many of us, and particularly younger men and women today, it's a challenge. Um, they're going to have to be Dodgers. They're going to have to learn how to make their moves, how to market themselves, how to get out of the way of difficult situations. Watch out for the scammers. Watch out for the people who can't be trusted. They're going to have to be very much like the Dodgers. And so we hopefully will helpfully, we hope helpfully be able to help them make some of their marks as they are starting to make their careers in these challenging times. That's what we want to do. I would love for you, if you have some ideas, I would love to hear from you. You know, you've got some friends, young men and women who are graduating or are out starting their, as one person said, it's kind of at the age of 25, it could be your mid-quarter life crisis. You know, you're trying to figure out, what should I do? What should I do? How should I get a career? How can I get a good job? I even did a course one time on how to quit your soul-sucking job and get a better one. I would love for you to send Brooklyn and I good ideas for younger men and women who are trying to start a career, maybe even become entrepreneurs, have their own business. What kind of advice would you give them to help them make the right moves, the smart moves, the fast moves, um, the be careful moves that would help them as they start their new life of work and career and maybe even building their own business? I'd love to hear from you. And Brooklyn and I would love to hear from you too. Here we go. Stan at witradio.net. Stan at witradio.net. And I would love to hear your counsel and your advice. And wish us well. These will be some good things we put together. I'm really excited about the opportunity and the idea, and I'm hoping that we will have a whole cohort of young men and women who will actually join us on the program. And then not, the old guy will just go away, and they will take over the entire program themselves, and they will be having a real significant channel of advice and counsel to one another about good ways to make your mark, to make your impact in the marketplace. That's the story for this Monday. Thank you for your time. I'd love to hear from you, and we'll continue to try and have interesting ideas about how you can make it in the marketplace in these challenging times. All the best and blessings to you. I'm grateful for what you do. Please recommend me to others. Please subscribe. Please let me know how I could help you. I still think I can probably do a little bit of that too. Bye for now.